Hey everybody, it's Colleen with Colleen Beauty and Fashion. So today is day number 3 of my 30 products by 30 brands in 30 days challenge. And so far we've tested the day 1, which was this vinyl lip gloss from Revlon in the color Rule the World. So I'm wearing it today. And yesterday we did some NYX blush, which I quite enjoyed. And today we're going to try something new. So the premise of this series on my video channel is that we're going to test one product each day in April from a different brand. And so I go shopping and I find the product that we're going to use, and then I show it to you and I put it on and I test it, and then at the end of the video I let you know what I think about it, and then we move on to the next one. And so I'm hoping along the way that you will comment and say if there's something you want to see me test. It can't be $300 items, but anything that's reasonable and that I can easily get in Canada at my local drugstore or Sephora, I'm happy to test. So if you have some thoughts on what you'd like to see, leave it below in the comments. And while you're there, if you'd like to subscribe so you can see all of the content on my channel, that'd be great. So let's get going with today's product. First, we'll do the shopping. So I'm here at my local Walmart, and I spied this way down at the bottom. This is a Milani bronzer. I think I heard that that's pretty good. So that's one option for today. We have quite a bit from Hard Candy here, but there's no prices on anything. Those bronzers look kind of interesting. Instant summer appeals to me. The other thing I looked at was this highlighter trio. This one's quite pretty, this one here, but it says only in Canada, so that wouldn't be fair to everybody else. It's the ELF Camo Concealer. It's something that I wanted to try. I heard that this Maybelline City Bronzer is pretty good as well. So after all of that, I chose to buy for today's product the ELF Hydrating Camo Concealer. There it is right there. And the shade I bought was Fair Rose. It's a little bit pinky, and I think that'll work well. I'm still looking for something that's going to work for me under my eyes. So I saw Concealer Hack on Jody, I think her last name is Mans. I'll check and put it in the description box, on her YouTube channel, and she specializes in makeup over 40, and I think she's a professional makeup artist. So she was showing this technique to kind of help people who have, like myself, these hollows under your eyes. And I do have wrinkles in there too, but I wouldn't consider any dark circles under there. But she was saying these hollows, because if you have high cheekbones, as you age, these hollows get worse. So I definitely think that's part of my problem, and I have been searching and searching for a product or a technique to help I don't even need really concealer, but just a little brightening under here would be nice. So we're going to give her technique a shot. Here's the product out of the box, the ELF Camo Concealer, and this is the hydrating one. So I think step number 1 was to put some primer on, so we'll do that next. So I think what I'll do is I will use the technique on this side, and then I'll just use the concealer alone on this side, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if it makes a difference or not. I'm going to start off then with what Jody recommended, was to put some primer down. Now she had a very nice primer, a Tatcha primer. I don't have that, but she said that maybe something with silicone in it would work if I didn't have that. So this is the ELF primer. I think it's called Poreless Face Primer, and I think it's a silicone product. So I'm going to start with this and we'll see what happens. So she said to put just a little tiny bit. So I'm going to put my primer on this hand and kind of pat it in under here. And then she also mentioned that it might work on the smoker's lines. Now I've got all this lipstick on, but let's give it a shot and see if it works. Maybe I'll wipe my lipstick off. Just one sec, I'll be right back. Put the primer also in these vertical lines above my upper lip. Press it in. So this primer feels very slippery, and I kind of don't trust it for that reason. I don't use it very often because I kind of don't trust it, but we'll see if this works. Now I'm going to take this damp sponge, my little red sponge that I got the other day in my BoxyCharm, and we'll press this in again. And on this side, as I mentioned, I haven't put anything on, so we're just going to use the concealer straight up. Now, I can see a bit of a difference between the two already, just with the primer on. This side does look brighter. So that's a bit of an improvement. We'll see what happens next. So here we go with the concealer. I'm just going to pull it out of the bottle here and show you. It's quite a large doe foot. Yikes! It's very big. So it'll be interesting trying to get it in near my eye. But here we go. And we're just going to do, she said, starting where the indentation happens and blending down. This is quite a liquidy concealer, I can tell already. Okay, so we're going to try that. We're supposed to use this damp sponge to sponge it out. Be careful near my eyes. Okay, now we can see quite a big difference, at least I think I can, in the mirror. I'm in natural sunlight here, coming from the window there, so I think I can see quite a big difference between this eye and this eye. This eye, again, has the primer on it, and this eye has nothing so far. So let's go ahead and put something on this eye that doesn't have any primer. Again, just tapping it in. And this time I think I'll use just my finger, which is what I would normally do with concealer. I just go like this normally. Oh, I might have put a bit too much on. That's okay, we'll see what happens. I'll take the sponge. Finish this off. So what do we think? I think this eye might be a little bit better as far as brightness is concerned. It's very slight though. The real test is going to be when I wear it now, and we'll see if it creases up, because that's the big problem for me. It's not so much the coverage, because as I said, I don't really need that much. It's in it creasing. So I will make sure I press it in really well on both sides. And she went back in again with some powder, but with some Laura Mercier powder. But every time I put powder there, that's when it all falls apart and it starts to crease and cake. So I'm going to leave it alone because I think right now it looks pretty good. Let me put my glasses on because I can always see better with my glasses on. And the good thing about my glasses is it also, my glasses magnify underneath there so you can see even better. And I think it looks pretty good. I actually do think this side with the primer does look better. And I want to put a little where my lines were that we filled in with primer and see what happens there. Just a little touch. And then I'm going to blend it out. Because these are pretty significant lines. And we'll take the sponge. See, these lines will be a good test of whether this settles in because they're pretty significant. Oh dear. Oh well. We'll see. So far it's okay. So I will go and finish the rest of my makeup look. Clean up my eyes and do my eyeshadow and put the rest of my look on, and then I'll come back and we'll see what happens. So I'm back. I went and I put on some eyebrows and a little bit of eyeshadow, and I put my lips back on again. And it's a really minimal look today because it's Sunday. But anyway, I checked it again in the mirror and I checked both sides here. And I do think this side with the primer underneath it with the Jody Mann's technique is doing a little bit better. It's slight, but I do think it is doing a bit better. So we're going to check back in a little while, and I'm going to do some things around the house, and we'll see if it starts to crease in or crepe in or whatever you want to call it. Fingers crossed though. So far so good. And if this is the one, I'm going to be so happy because ELF is a great company with very reasonable prices, and that would be awesome. So fingers crossed. We'll see in a bit. So we're back. It's been a little more than an hour, close to 2. And I just want to check in with you on the wear test. So I'm going to take my glasses off. I think it's done very well under my eyes. I do have to say, I'm not quite ready to call it a holy grail, but it is definitely a lot better than the other concealers that I've tried under there. And it may be due to the technique. I don't think so though, because this one didn't have any primer and it's pretty good too. But this I do think it helped a little bit. So I think it's worth doing, especially, you know, for evening look or something. It's worth the extra step, I do think. So, however, down here, where I also use primer and put it on, I don't know if you can see, but it is settling in the lines a little bit. Not terrible, but it is a little bit. So I don't know if I would continue to use it down there or not. But anyway, I'll back up a little bit and get out of your space. But yeah, I really like this one. So where is it now? Oh, I put it back in the box. So this is the ELF Camo Concealer, and this is the hydrating one. And it's the color Fair Rose. So I do recommend it. It's worth trying. It's definitely a reasonably priced product, and if you've been having some issues like I have and you're looking for a really good concealer, I really like this one. So far so good. So we'll see if it makes it to the finale where I go through all the products and show off my picks for the very best ones. So here is Bonnie, who always says goodbye at the end along with me. We're having a sleepy Sunday, aren't we, Bonnie? Anyway, we really appreciate you joining us for this video. I hope you liked it, and continue to watch as I go through the remainder of the month, one product every day for every day in April. And let's see how it goes. It's a grueling schedule, but I'm up for it. So it won't be a problem. Anyway, I enjoy doing it so much, and I thank you for being here. And please subscribe if you're enjoying my content. Bonnie will say bye-bye. Bye-bye, people. Bye-bye, people. Okay, bye-bye now.